From the Fox News deck this Thursday afternoon, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, this morning engaged in what critics are calling sexist cyberbullying in tweets at the MSNBC anchor and Morning Joe co-host Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. Tweets roundly criticized in many cases as beneath the office of the presidency. During the final minutes of the program this morning, the president tweeted, and I quote, "I heard poorly rated Morning Joe speaks badly of me. Don't watch anymore. Then how come low IQ crazy Mika, along with Psycho Joe, came to Mar-a-Lago 3 nights in a row around New Year's Eve and insisted on joining me? She was bleeding badly from a facelift. I said no." The president's tweet is the latest in the series of derogatory remarks about women. During a presidential debate, the president said of the moderator and then Fox News Channel anchor, Megyn Kelly, that you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever, after a question she posed about his past disparaging remarks against women. There were also Donald Trump's remarks about what he can do to women during a hot mic recording of him speaking to then Access Hollywood's Billy Bush. Mr. Trump said aloud, and I quote, "When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them right in the genital area. You can do anything." He actually spoke a profane word for genital area, as I'm confident you're aware. For those remarks, the president later apologized. The White House is not apologizing for today's presidential tweets, which it has previously announced should be considered by all official statements of the President of the United States. The press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, said, and I quote, "I don't think that the president's ever been someone who gets attacked and doesn't push back. There have been an outrageous number of personal attacks, not just to him, but to, frankly, everyone around him. People on that show, meaning Morning Joe on MSNBC, have personally attacked me many times. This is a president who fights fire with fire." What critics call the cyberbullying sexist aspect of the tweet, she did not address. The First Lady launched 5 months ago an anti-cyberbullying initiative. Today, her press secretary issued a statement that reads in part, "As the First Lady has stated publicly in the past, when her husband gets attacked, he will punch back 10 times harder." The president has been widely criticized throughout the day by women, both Republican and Democrat, on Capitol Hill, and chastised by leaders of all stripes and commenters of all kinds on social media and the web. The Republican Senator Lindsey Graham notably said, "Mr. President, your tweet was beneath the office and represents what is wrong with American politics, not the greatness of America." As I reported, the presidential tweets were the focus of the news conference moments ago. John Roberts is live at the White House. John?
And clearly, Shep, there is a lot of history here, personal history, and a big backstory to the relationship between President Trump and the two hosts of this morning show. They used to, it would appear, have a good relationship. There are reports that both of those hosts were at his New Year's Eve party at Mar-a-Lago. But the White House is kind of portraying this as what happened this morning was a last straw. When Mika Brzezinski suggested that the president was lying about his agenda, quote, destroying the country. That's when the president fired off that tweet. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders at the daily press briefing just a short time ago, giving the first question to me, asking her, and I asked her, given the response from the president's backers, the president's supporters on Capitol Hill, whether he might have gone too far with what he wrote this morning. Listen to her response.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that the president has been attacked mercilessly on personal accounts by members on that program. And I think he's been very clear that when he gets attacked, he's going to hit back. I think the American people elected somebody who's tough, who's smart, and who's a fighter. And that's Donald Trump. And I don't think that it's a surprise to anybody that he fights fire with fire.
No shortage of response from the president's colleagues on the Republican side from Capitol Hill. You showed Lindsey Graham's response. Susan Collins of Maine said this has to stop. There needs to be civility. Orrin Hatch said that he had a problem, not necessarily with the president's tweeting in general, but with this particular one, calling it a, quote, dipsy doodle. And the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, asked at his weekly press availability, saying this morning, "I don't see it as an appropriate comment." This idea, though, that it was beneath the dignity of the office, something that was said not only by Lindsey Graham, but by Senator Ben Sasse as well. No question that Sasse does not necessarily share the same views of the president. They're not particularly close. But I asked Sarah Huckabee Sanders this afternoon about that idea regarding the dignity of the office. Watch here. A couple of the criticisms from supporters of the president have been that this particular tweet was beneath the dignity of the office. Where does the president draw that line on the dignity of the office?
I think that he shows that every day in the decisions that he's making, the focus and the priorities he's laid out in his agenda, but he's not going to sit back and be attacked by the liberal media, Hollywood elites, and when they hit him, he's going to hit.
As you can imagine, in addition to his Republican colleagues blasting the president over this tweet, Democrats are taking it to a whole other level, claiming that this tweet was sexist, aimed at a woman, aimed at a very personal, very personal nature to alleged plastic surgery procedure that she may or may not have. We don't know if she ever did. But here's how Sarah Huckabee Sanders responded to the fact that this was an attack on a woman the Democrats are calling sexist. Listen here.
Everybody wants to make this an attack on a woman and equality. What about the constant attacks that he receives or the rest of us? I'm a woman and I've been attacked by this show multiple times, but I don't cry foul because of it. I think that, you want to create this false narrative. One hand, it's like, let's treat everybody equally, and on the other hand, they attack, and he responds, and apparently that's wrong.
So clearly a broad difference of opinion here between people who are looking at this tweet and saying it's inappropriate, it's beneath the dignity of the office of the president for him to be saying such things, in a White House, Shep, that is insisting that the president is getting attacked all of the time on multiple occasions by this particular program. But there's no question that what happened this morning again pulls the president way off message. He's had a couple of reasonably good weeks. He's got his partial travel ban going into effect tonight. The House is going to pass a couple of immigration bills that the president has long asked for, and he believes that he's making progress on health care, but this really has become the focus of the news day. Shep?
John Roberts, live at the White House. Thank you. The tweets regarding coverage of this matter are coming in, and largely the president's supporters are blaming the media, and this program for that matter, for covering exactly what it is that the president has said and done without commentary thereon. Attacking the president, they call it. Speaking evil of the president. Shepard Smith.